The people of Jordan and Israel were shocked by the color of the water near the Dead Sea, which raises the speculation that the apocalypse is near. A pool of water near the Dead Sea in the biblical region of Moab, modern-day Jordan, has mysteriously turned blood red. Workers from Jordan's Ministry of Water and Irrigation are sampling water from the Red Lagoon just inside the Jordanian border to investigate the origin of the strange event. The photos have generated a social media controversy, with blood red waters having great significance in the Old Testament, as one of the 10 plagues God sent to the Pharaoh of Egypt to release the Jews from slavery. Can this be an indicator of the fact that the end times are approaching, because this is one of the signs mentioned in Revelation 16:4? In Revelation 16:4, it has been said, "And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of water, and they became blood." Are the prophecies in the Bible finally coming true? The Dead Sea lies in the Mediterranean region in the great African Syrian rift between Israel and Jordan. It is situated at one of the lowest points on Earth that is nearly 423 meters below sea level. The Dead Sea is a salt lake in southern Israel's Judean desert, bordered to the east by Jordan. In addition to being the lowest point on Earth, it is also one of the saltiest bodies of water on the planet, and its origins can be tracked back around 4 million years. Its high salinity of well over 30% means its waters are extremely mineral-rich, and the health benefits of bathing in the Dead Sea have long been claimed, despite the fact that the water is too salty to support marine life. People with respiratory disorders like cystic fibrosis appears to benefit from the region's increased air pressure, while the temperature, humidity, and minerals in the water make it an ideal setting for treating skin problems. It's also been suggested that Dead Sea mud pack therapy improves pain in patients suffering from knee osteoarthritis. The Dead Sea, on the other hand, has had declined dramatically in recent years, most likely owing to climate change. It is presently around 31 miles long and 9 miles wide at its widest point, but the Dead Sea's water level is estimated to have decreased by more than 131 feet since the 1950s, and is now dropping nearly 2 feet every year. According to the Society for Protection of Nature in Israel, the Alexander River became blood red last year as a result of blood from slaughterhouses in the West Bank seeping into the river. In the first 10 plagues that occurred as the Pharaoh's punishment for refusing to liberate his Jewish slaves, God transformed the Nile's waters into blood, killing the fish and preventing the Egyptians from drinking the unclean water. The eastern beaches of the Dead Sea, where the Blood Red Pond is located, are also the location of the two fabled cities of Sodom and Gomorrah before they were allegedly destroyed by God for their wickedness. Fathi al-Huwamel, the head of the Al-Qara Council's Water and Agricultural Committee, stated that authorities had been called to work on the determining source of the water. However, according to Jordan's ministry spokeswoman Omar Salameh, the reason for the enigmatic red waters remains unexplained for the time being. However, a few suggestions have been proposed as to why a lagoon isolated from fresh water may suddenly change color. Yassin Al-Kasabeh, director of agriculture in the southern Jordan Valley, told Roya News that this phenomenon occurs in ponds near oceans due to the presence of a special type of bacteria and red algae that enjoy salinity and change color in the presence of sunlight. However, this does not explain why the water suddenly turned red, whereas neighboring pools did not, especially given that the location has nearly year-round sunny skies. Other officials told the media that the presence of iron oxide in the water could account for the peculiar color change, but they did not explain how the iron oxide got into the pool or why the color change happened so quickly. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Jordanian Geologist Syndicate, Sakr al-Nasur, told Al-Gad that the red color may have been created by human intervention. Many Jordanians agree, accusing the government of concealing a source of pollution by using the pool as a dumping ground for waste chemicals. Since the predictions about the end of the world predict that large quantities of water will turn to blood, the question arises as to whether or not the events that we are witnessing right now are also predicted in the Bible. According to Revelation 8:8, the second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain, all ablaze, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood. This verse describes what happened when the angel blew his trumpet. Something resembling a massive fountain on fire splashes into the water. This massive object could be a meteor. In Revelation 8:7, it's been said, the first trumpet predicted hail, fire, and blood. Some believe the first trumpet will be a meteor shower heralding a far more devastating calamity as explained in the Bible. The reference to sea is distinct from the freshwater sources of earth, such as lakes and rivers. Those will be affected by a subsequent trumpet judgment. Perhaps this judgment falls upon the Mediterranean Sea, which is under control of the beast described in Revelation 13:11-18. Though only mentioned later, this end of the world figure will have arrived by this stage in the tribulation. The beast who dominates commerce during the tribulation period will suffer a significant financial loss as a result of the second trumpet judgment, since a third of the sea turns into blood. This judgment reminds us of what happened when the Pharaoh refuses to allow the Hebrews to escape Egypt. According to Exodus 7:14-22, the Lord told Moses to order Aaron to take his staff and stretch his hand over the water of Egypt, causing them to turn blood. The Nile turned to blood after Moses, and Aaron obeyed the Lord. God will punish the beast for suppressing those who refuse to worship the head of the revived Roman Empire in the same way that he punished the Pharaoh for his suppression of the people of Israel. Water is also changed to blood in Revelation 16:3-6, with the second and the third bowls of God's wrath. It says, "The second angel poured out his bowl on the sea. Then the sea became blood like that of a dead man. Every living thing in the sea died. The third angel poured out his bowl on the rivers and the springs of water, and they became blood." All of these things happen throughout the tribulation period of the end times. The Dead Sea has significant biblical and religious importance. Various Jewish sects used to reside in the caves around the Dead Sea during the biblical period, most famously the Essenes, who are said to have left the remarkable Dead Sea Scrolls in the caves of Qumran. The scrolls are a collection of about 25,000 ancient manuscript fragments, including the oldest known copies of Hebrew Bible books. They were discovered in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea in 1946, and their finding was described as one of the most important archaeological discoveries ever made by biologist Oded Reshavi of Israel's Tel Aviv University. Archaeologists are currently painstakingly piecing the scrolls back together. The legendary cities recorded in the book of Genesis, Sodom and Gomorrah, are thought to have existed on the Dead Sea's southern shore, while En Gedi, now a nature reserve near the Dead Sea, is mentioned in the Bible as the area where the King David hid from Saul, the man who was famous to have killed Goliath. In the modern era, scientists from Israel and Germany found in 2011 that the Dead Sea floor includes fractures that allow fresh water to rise up from beneath the seabed. Despite the fact that the salinity of the water makes the environment unsuitable for marine life, many species of bacteria and archaea live on the sea floor and feed on the minerals that rise up through the fissures, while the area's atmospheric pressure, warmth, and mineral-rich water make it a popular tourist destination with mythical healing properties. Even though the Dead Sea has a dramatic name to it, it is said to be a wondrous and almost magical place of healing and wellness. The Dead Sea, according to Islamic beliefs, is the location of the ancient city of Sodom, which was the home of the prophet Lut. The people of Sodom are described in the Quran as ignorant, sinful evildoers who reject God's call to righteousness. These individuals included murderers, thieves, and those who publicly engaged in sexually immoral activity. Lut steadfastly proclaimed God's truth, but to no purpose. He discovered that even his own wife was a disbeliever. According to belief, God brutally punished the Sodomites for their wrongdoing. The penalty, according to the Quran, was to turn the cities upside down and rain on them brimstones as hard as baked clay, spread layer upon layer marked from your Lord. The location of this punishment is now the Dead Sea, which serves as a metaphor of destruction. According to the Quran, the location of this punishment has left a sign for those who come after. Surely these are signs for those who understand, and verily, they are right on the high road. Surely therein is indeed a sign for the believers. For this reason, devout Muslims have an aversion to the Dead Sea region. For Muslims who do visit the Dead Sea, it's recommended that they spend time recalling the story of Lut and how he stood for righteousness among his people. The Quran says, "And to Lut we gave judgment and knowledge, and we saved him from the city that was committing wicked deeds. Indeed, they were a people of evil, defiantly disobedient, and we admitted him into our mercy. Indeed, he was of the righteous." However, recently credible news reports have also shown water turning a blood-red color in Nootdorp, the Netherlands, Bondi Beach in Australia, the Beirut River in Lebanon, a river in Zhejiang Province, China, and even rainfall in Savanagala in Sri Lanka. So what is actually happening in these places? Why is water turning blood red in color? Are any of these incidents related to the prophecies from the religious textbooks? Do tell us in the comments.